The 2025 Formula One season has only just begun, but Lewis Hamilton's Ferrari saga is already one of the most talked about stories in the paddock. Now it has entered a surprising new chapter. A major development has been quietly being prepared by Ferrari, and if the reports are true, it could be the game-changing moment that Hamilton's tifosi and fans around the world have been waiting for. What exactly are Ferrari planning, and how much of an impact will it have on this season's title race? Let's dive in. Ferrari has reportedly developed a new floor specification for its SF-25 car, specifically for its debut at the Bahrain Grand Prix. This is no ordinary update. It's a deep change aimed at addressing the core issues with Hamilton's car's performance so far. Since the start of the season, the SF-25 has shown speed in sections of the track, but has often been unstable over a full lap. This has been particularly felt by Hamilton, who has been vocal about his frustration with the lack of rear grip and instability when accelerating out of fast corners such as Suzuka's 130R and the S-curves in the first sector. The problem is believed to stem from a specific element in the car's aerodynamics, a crucial element that the team has yet to officially address. However, Ferrari appear to have taken the seven-time world champion's complaints and input seriously. The floor upgrade was originally planned for a race later in the season, but a disappointing result at the Japanese Grand Prix forced the team to take immediate action. This, combined with increasing pressure from Lewis Hamilton, forced Ferrari to accelerate their plans. They knew that delay could mean losing momentum. Bahrain was no small decision to debut the upgrade. The circuit offers an ideal combination of fast and slow corners to test the effectiveness of the upgrade in real-world conditions. The Bahrain International Circuit is the perfect test bed for ground efficiency. With its combination of hard braking zones, slow corners that require lots of traction, and long straights that demand high stability, Bahrain will be a real test of whether these upgrades really make a difference. If the new floor works, Hamilton will have a car that is more stable in fast corners, more responsive to control and, most importantly, gives him the confidence to attack in both qualifying and the race. But more than just the numbers on the stopwatch, these upgrades are a real test of the direction of the team's work and, just as importantly, of the trust between driver and team. Hamilton didn't come to Ferrari to fight for the midfield or settle for a top-5 finish. He came with a bigger mission, to rewrite the history of this legendary team. If Ferrari can address his concerns with concrete solutions in just a few races, it would be a strong signal that the team is truly committed to building a future around Hamilton. It's not just about fixing the car, it's about building a foundation of trust that will determine the outcome of this season, and potentially for years to come. On the other hand, if these changes actually cause new problems, such as poor temperature management, increased tire degradation, or loss of car balance, then Ferrari could be facing a much more serious problem. Not only in terms of performance, but also the potential for rifts within the team they are building from the ground up. Interestingly, while this package of upgrades is specifically designed to address Lewis Hamilton's problems, the impact will certainly not be limited to one side of the garage. The changes made have the potential to affect the overall performance of the car and the team's strategy as a whole. Charles Leclerc, who has so far been more consistent and often quicker than Hamilton, has also complained about similar issues, related to the SF-25's narrow setup window and the car's unstable behavior, especially when changing fuel loads or using different types of tires. If these updates can truly unlock the hidden potential of the SF-25, Ferrari could be on the cusp of a major turning point. Not only will it make Hamilton more comfortable on track, but it could also give Leclerc a more reliable car from lap to lap. In the best-case scenario, the pair could once again be a serious threat for podiums and even wins, something Ferrari has yet to see consistently this season. In the ultra-competitive world of Formula One, every detail on a car can make the difference between winning and losing. One component that often goes unnoticed by the casual observer, yet is crucial, is the floor. To some, the floor upgrade may seem like a minor tweak, a piece of carbon hidden underneath the car. But in reality, the floor is one of the most complex and defining elements of the overall aerodynamic design. The floor upgrade reflects the team's engineering philosophy. It's not just about how they design the undercarriage, it's about how well they understand airflow, how they manage ground effect, and how that translates into driver confidence when you're going into a corner at over 200 miles per hour. The right floor design allows the car to stick to the tarmac without sacrificing straight-line speed. It creates stability, adds grip, and reduces understeer and oversteer, which can be very detrimental to performance. This is where this update is important for Lewis Hamilton. Throughout last season, he complained about the inconsistent character of the Mercedes car, understeer on corner entry, lack of rear traction, and the car's unpredictable behavior from lap to lap. All these complaints were not just about discomfort. They could mean the difference between third place and the top step of the podium. The change in floor design is therefore not only a technical experiment, but also an attempt to restore the sense of unity between rider and machine. A meeting point between man and technology. For Hamilton, this update could be a turning point in his journey with Mercedes. But, as always in Formula One, there are no guarantees. A technical update can work perfectly in the simulator, but produce a different result in the real world. It all depends on how the package performs in real race conditions, amidst the stress, tire wear, pit stop strategies, and changing weather. The Bahrain Grand Prix is not just the start of the season. It is the starting point that will set the narrative for the rest of the year. For Ferrari, it is more than just a strong start, it is a testament. Will all the changes made over the winter pay off? Will the presence of Lewis Hamilton really be able to take the team to the next level? All eyes will be on the first free practice session. Not just because it will be Hamilton's first Grand Prix weekend in red, but because this is the moment when the world will begin to judge whether Ferrari's grand experiment has paid off. The team will be watching Hamilton's data very closely, especially in critical areas such as Turn 10, known as one of the most challenging on the calendar due to its steep surface and the need for stability under braking, and the straight into Turn 1, where DRS efficiency, traction out of the final corner, and deep braking ability will be crucial. But it's not just about data and engine power. It's also about psychology, and that's perhaps the most important area. If Hamilton feels a real change behind the wheel of the SF-25, if he feels he can attack with confidence again without having to compensate for the car's shortcomings, then the effect will be felt far and wide within the team. It could be a turning point, a spark of renewed enthusiasm. The tensions that were audible over the radio last season could be eased and Ferrari could become a unified team again, not just fast, but solid in mentality and strategy. On the other hand, if the results don't live up to expectations, if the SF-25 continues to show signs of technical instability, if Leclerc once again looks more consistent and comfortable than Hamilton, even after all the development focused on the seven-time world champion's driving style, then big questions will arise. Questions that will not be easy to answer. Does Ferrari really understand the DNA of its own car? Or are they stuck in an inefficient development cycle, trying to fix weaknesses with patchwork solutions? Can they compete with the advanced and more integrated aerodynamic concepts of Red Bull and McLaren, who always seem to be one step ahead? The 2025 season is still very long, with a total of 24 races to go. However, the result of the opening race in Bahrain could determine the direction of Ferrari's journey throughout the season. A win, or even a podium finish, could provide the morale and momentum the team needs to move forward with confidence. Conversely, a failure early in the season could be a warning signal, pushing them into a defensive mode, sacrificing long-term strategy just to minimize short-term damage. This is a crucial moment. Will this be the start of Ferrari's revival with Lewis Hamilton, the seven-time world champion? Or will it be just another sweet promise that was not fulfilled, hopes that soared but fell back to reality? Write your opinion.